Good night. Here with us tonight. God is good. God is good all the time. My name is Amateur Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a short news on tonight. First, we're going to start with the swimmer struggling to find buyers. You know, the United States is on a pace to bring in more than 2 billion pounds of cheaper import shrimps this year. You know, so they're thinking about bringing in cheaper shrimps. Where the shrimpers, they have so many shrimp that's on hold because they're trying to find buyers. You know, so Louisiana shrimpers have been hit hard. They have been hit hard. You know, struggling to find buyers to buy these shrimp. You know, so by recent hurricane, record low prices and an influx of cheaper foreign. You know, so imports the news that come as one of the largest shrimp processor in Louisiana. You know, so they announced as temporary shutdown. And we know we really don't want them to shut down. You know, we love shrimps. You know, so we hope they stay open and we can also help them to stay open. So nobody's buying shrimps right now. That we have so much problem with foreign shrimps coming in is killing us. You know, so they have other shrimps company that's coming in. It's cheaper than what they have, and it's kind of killing them because people not buying their shrimps. They're buying the other stuff that's coming in. You know, so to bring in more than 2 billion pounds a year. You know, so no buyers is buying shrimps. You know, with a few places to sell his product. You know, shrimp sit in a cold storage. You know, waiting to find buyers to buy. You know, because at one time this stuff was just buying. You know, soon as they pack it and stuff. You know, so now when they packing it, they have to kind of keep it on ice until they find a buyer. You know, so shrimp was like Ricky, he said when factories, start shutting down, the ripple effect is crushing when he heard the shutdown. You know, so everybody started crushing when they said shut down. So we have to really help them, you know, to stay open. So we don't want the shrimp factory, to shut down. You know, I would pray for the shrimpers to get buyers and stay open, you know. So ain't nothing like the Louisiana shrimps, with the flavor. You know, so Halloween. So we're gonna talk about Halloween. This is a Halloween weekend. You know, so Halloween brings thousands of tourists, and lots of money to New Orleans, So Halloween weekend is one of the city biggest weekend, with thousands itself to celebrate the Smokey Festival. You know, so local business say it's a booming for the city, especially the French Quarter, because the French Quarter is the first place the tourists come down. You know, so everything is looking good in business. You know, the French Quarters and any part where the tourists is at. You know, everything is looking good. You know, by the Halloween weekend. You know, so Sunday today, Bourbon Street was a sea of costume and spooky festivals. You know, so all up there in the French Quarter, with their costumes on, so they are having fun. You got some of the tourists said they would love to move down here to New Orleans. You know, they say it's fun to live here. You know, we always have events. You know, they always can still celebrate all through the night. You know, and they got worried about nobody getting them off the street. You know, so we have hours away from Halloween. You know, here hours away from Halloween, and this is the weekend that brought in lots of folks to the city to celebrate. You know, this is the state. This is the state to come and celebrate all the time. You know, so local businesses say it's been a big it's been a big convention Halloween. You know, it's sticking to Mardi Gras. You know, so when we have Mardi Gras, we have a wonderful weekend. You have so many tourists come down for Mardi Gras. You also have many tourists come down for the Essence. You know, remember we had over 2 millions of people here for the Essence. You know, so these is the two big things. You know, is a big help to New Orleans when they come down here. Mardi Gras and Essence, and now we see Halloween. You know, so So now I want to talk about this elder couple. You know, we have to love and respect our elders. You know, so I'm sorry to hear this story about this elder couple. You know, but thank God they survived. Thank God they survived. You know, so this elder couple had survived a kidnapping. You know, and this teen was like 16 years old. Tried to kidnap them to bring them to the bank to get money. So this young man who was not man, this boy who was 16 years old, but he kidnapped an elder couple and drove them to the bank to try to force them to withdraw money. You know, is now facing a life sentence. You know, conviction come more than a year after. You know, that couple went through quite an ordeal. I bet they did. You know, and thank God they survived. You know, so this involved someone that's breaking into their home, kidnapping them at gunpoint, you know, and then trying to ride them. Um, authorities said he confessed that he targeted them, you know, someone that knew them, you know, he used to do, you know, work for them, you know, and he was at their Metairie home last July, you know. So when authorities said the man was 91 years old. His wife was 81 years old, and they, you know, both was kidnapped. You know, so the person who robbed them, he was 16 years old. You know, 16-year-old boy said that he targeted the two elders couple on the age. You know, now he doesn't know the victim personal, you know, but he worked for them and did a little work for them around the house. You know, but he know how vulnerable, you know, they are. You know, so citizen is overwhelmed on many aspects. You know, so the boy was he was wearing a mask. He was wearing a mask, and he had a gun when he broke into their home. You know, 49 block Inwood Park when a couple, you know, when the boy went into their home, they was in the Inwood house. So Inwood Parkway, when a couple couldn't meet his 100,000 um demands. Now he helped the elders to get in the car, drove them to their bank, and he wanted them to withdraw $100,000. You know, because the bar forced them at gunpoint to drive them to the bank on William Boulevard. You know, so authorities said they wait in the car. You know, one had to wait in the car as the couple had went into withdraw cash, uh, and didn't have that kind of money in the bank. You know, so authorities said the wife asked the employees to call the police, you know, and that was the key. You know, the elders have the right to speak up, you know, um, for themselves, and they don't have to be in fear. You know, so when he ran, they found him hiding behind a garbage can. You know, authorities said he confessed that he said he targeted a couple their age, and he knew them. You know, he knew them from doing little work for them. You know, in the past. You know, so the people, the people shouldn't be trustworthy so easy. You know, so just because you build rapidly with that person, relationship with that person, doesn't necessarily mean that person is trustworthy. You know, the elder must stay vigilant day by day. You know, so he did a little work for him in the yard and stuff like that. So they figure, you know, since he do work for us, you know, they can trust him. You know, and many times they be the ones who calls you home is the one that know you. You know, and he know how vulnerable they is by him doing work for them and saw how nice they was. You know, so he is tried as an adult. You know, he convicted by a jury on 2 accounts. You know, aggressive kidnapping in 1 count, aggressive burglary that he now faces a life sentence, and he set to be sentenced. You know, um, thank God, thank God they survived. Thank God they was not hurt. You know, and this is a boy that wanted the money, you know, to buy a car. You know, so he took advantage of this elder couple because he wanted to buy a car. You know, so you have to respect all these young people. You have to respect, you know, our elders. You know, Don't look on their age to target them. So, you know, but help them. You know, think about you have a grandmother. You know, you do have a grandmother, or you had a grandmother, and whatever the case is, that's how you have to look at it. You know, we're not going to try to take advantage of elders. We're going to try to help them. You know, see if they need help. You know, so too, all elders, when someone do work for you around the house or any kind of work for you, don't get too close. You know, always have your eyes open on everyone. You know, don't figure to do work for you. Oh, he nice. He cuts the grass. He do this. He won't do anything. He all right. That's the ones you have to watch. You know, so anyone, you know, that do any kind of work for you, you know, please let your elders, I mean, not elders, your older children, let them know who is doing what and what around the house. You know, so don't be too quick to take people in and take people into your home. You know, because time had to change. You know, and sometimes it's the ones that familiar with you will try to harm you. Like this guy here, he worked. This one work for you around the house. You know, so um, be careful, be vigilant, keep your eyes open, and anybody to any kind of work for you, please let your older children, you know who doing what around the house. You know, so always keep a close eye of people around you and don't get too close. You know, so we talk about the shrimp factory. You know, got have his stuff on ice because he's trying to find hard to find buyers. He have few buyers, you know, and this is a big old factory. You know, they used to sell soon as they pack stuff. You know, so now they are struggling, trying to find buyers. You know, but I'm gonna always pray for them to stay open. You know, because these days, after especially after the COVID, you know, business is just hard. You know, to stay open and just stay on track. You know, so they have to temporarily close down because they have too much stuff. You know, too many bags of shrimp that's not really selling fast enough. You know, so we gonna we're gonna try to I'm gonna pray for them to stay open, you know, to get buyers and make things happen for them. You know, so we also talk about the Halloween weekend, you know, brought in thousands of tourists this weekend, you know, which is amazing. You help the businesses, you know, help the businesses in the French quarters, you know, because they're in the French quarters and all up there on Canal, so all the businesses is saying they're doing real good, you know, so we thank God that the tourists is down here, you know, for Halloween. And we also have a big weekend like that when you have Mardi Gras, you know. Mardi Gras bring in thousands of tourists down here also. And also we had the Essence. Now the Essence brought in over 1 million people down here for the Essence, you know. So you have these two big things like this here, events like this here, we pretty much have many tourists that come down. And when they come down, they enjoy themselves. You know, a lot of them say they love being down here, you know, because they have fun. You know, they don't have to, you know, worry about somebody getting them off the street. You know, New Orleans, you can party all night long. And now we see that Halloween become to be our biggest weekend also, you know, for this year. You know, so we also, you know, this New Orleans, we always, you know, have good events, and we definitely have good food here. You know, so that's good. The tourist is enjoying itself. You know, and also enjoys the food. Check out all the restaurants that's down here. The food are delicious down here. You know, so we also talk about this elder couple. You know, was kidnapped with gunpoint in their house. You know, because someone they knew had did work around the house last year. You know, and he talked to them. He know how vulnerable they was. Cause he know when he worked for them, he saw how nice it was. You know, and he wanted $100,000 out. He to buy him a car. He said he wanted a car, so he talked to this couple to withdraw the money out to get him a car. You know, so now he's serving that time for making that big mistake. About thought he was gonna use this elder couple, but the wife was very smart. She let the employee know, call the police. So that's all the stories, the news that I have for you on tonight. Y'all have a blessed night, and I see y'all in the next video.